Let's get it.
Cool. So, guys, I got Mike Russo on the line, NASB's Rookie of the Year. A lot of what we're going to be going over today is the mindset of producing at a high level, a lot of perspective shifts, a lot of what happens on your numbers and on your production. And when you're looking at, somebody that's doing it at a high level, a lot of it is here in between the ears, whether it's habits, whether it's mindset, whether it's the way he looks at something. So we're going to be talking about some of the biggest shifts he had, as well as some of the practical steps that he's doing to consistently ride at a high level. Mike, I'm going to throw it to you, brother. I'm going to kind of just let you have it and then kind of tell your story on how you started here and what it's led to thus far.
Yeah, man. So I started here, crazy, time flies, a little over 2.5 years ago. January 2020 was my first full month. Came from no sales background whatsoever. Was sitting behind a desk, crunching numbers, Jacob, 40 hours a week, commuting almost an hour to an office to get to punch in, punch out. No autonomy at all. I was paying the bills, job after college, but no growth opportunity at all. I was there for a little over 2 years, and tried to make the leap to sales. Just threw my resume out there. Just say, you know what, I'm going to bet on myself. The company I was at actually offered me a $20,000 raise to stay. I said, fuck it. I'm just going to bet on myself. Excuse my language.
Good.
And take the leap. And luckily enough, got a call from our recruiter down in Lawrenceville, our home office, linked me up with Blair Ollendorf, and went on a ride along with him. Half day, he showed me one sale. He pulled out his calculator, said, this is what I just made. It was like a smaller sale too, from what I, learned later. But I was like, you know what, I'm in. Called the next day, went into my job, put my 2 weeks in, and that was it. It's kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street thing, but that was me, man. No experience from sales though, no door to door, no experiencing cold calling, anything like that. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Dude, I want to start there, okay? Because we have people coming in from, I think the furthest one away from sales is probably an electrician, dude, working scaffold builders with a bunch of dude, I don't know if you ever did any plant work, but them guys are suspicious on the scaffolds. They got wife and kids at home, but dude, they act suspicious, but they're not selling nothing. And then we have a guy who came from FedEx, and they're coming in to sell insurance, and they're going door to door on somebody who didn't really invite them to the house. They kind of did, but didn't. What was your mindset going into that? And then how has it turned into what it is now?
Yeah. So at first, man, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I just put my belief in the system. I saw what it did for other people. And I was like, you know what? I don't know anything about insurance. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So I'm going to be as coachable as possible. I'm going to be hungry, but I'm going to be humble because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. Blair Ollendorf was my mentor, did exactly what he told me to do, never questioned it, because why would I? I have no leg to stand on. He's obviously been in the business a long time. Evan Proach was another one of my mentors, both partners now. So just listen, just be coachable. And this system has been tried and tested for now 10 years. I think we just turned 10 years old, our company. So obviously it works, and you see what it does for people. And I saw that immediately, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pour myself into this. And I was scared to knock on doors. I was scared to go in the ghetto, go into some of these rougher areas, lower income areas, and knock on a door. I still am sometimes, but let's be honest. I knew I was going to make it work. And what I've learned, Jacob, if you're going to make it work, winners will find a way. If someone's desperate enough to make this thing work, they'll find a way.
So it was kind of scary at first when son swings open the door in the hood. What you want with my mama?
Yeah, or someone comes out of the back room, like their son or something. It's like, what the hell is this about? You never know what you're going to run into. Every day is interesting, but that's what I loved about it. It's every day is a new day. Every day is different. It's not the same mundane thing every day. And I looked at it as an ocean of money out there. Just go and grab it. There's no cap on this. There's no commission caps. Sky's the limit. Go out there and get it done.
So coming into the business, you were like, it was a fear or like an uncomfortableness as far as knocking doors?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, no experience doing it. And honestly, man, I struggled the first couple months. I was telling you earlier, I tell this story all the time. I thought about quitting several times when I first started. I remember one day coming home, it was like a Friday night. I think I wrote one app the whole week, and it was a Friday night. It was snowing. It was just like dark night, early 5 o'clock, January night. I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was like about a month in. Had a couple chargebacks I remember piling up on me. I'm just like, man, this sucks. But stuck it out. And like you said, I had 12 months, my first 12 months, was able to win Rookie of the Year against other guys who had been in the business 5-6 months longer than me. So even though I got off to a slow start my first 3 months, I just hit the ground running from there, and my whole mindset changed. And when confidence starts to creep in and you see deposits rolling in every day, it gets addicting.
So as far as deposits, because there was a point in time where you came into the business, money wasn't how it is now, to where now it's more so you have to have the self-discipline to go to work. There was a point when you didn't have the money you have now. How did you act in the field at that time? And how did you kind of put the customer first? You're not having commission breath, or did you? And then now that money's coming in, how are you staying consistent? How are you staying disciplined with that?
Yeah. So I remember back when I first started, I had to ask, Blair Ollendorf for leads. I didn't have any money. I couldn't afford a new batch of leads. I said, hey man, you got to spot me. I can't afford this. So maybe looking back, I probably had commission breath, being brand new and just trying to just make ends meet at the beginning. And then by month 3, just 2 short months later, I made $10,000 in a month, way more than I've ever made in my life. So it's very easy to get complacent. Your bills are paid for a couple months, and sit back and say, you know what? I don't have to hit the field today. Wake up on a Tuesday. Nah, I'll go to the beach, or I'll do whatever. But for me, I just saw, like I said, it's addicting. It got addicting for me. I started to, okay, maybe I'm getting pretty good at this, and it started to get fun. So by month 3, making 10 grand in a month. And then I just said, I'm just going to try to break my record. I'm going to try to just one up it every month. But I guess a lot of other people have a different mindset than that. I mean, like you said, complacency can easily creep in this business. The freedom that we have can be a blessing and a curse. It can kill you. It can force you out of this business if you're not disciplined. So for me, I just looked at it as I owe it to myself and the people I care about to work hard. I'm not going to slack off. And what else are you doing during the week? Most times, really though, what else is there to do but go out and make money? And then, like we were talking about before, COVID broke out. COVID breaking out for me was actually huge because there was no distractions. I couldn't take a trip. Up here in New Jersey, we were locked down. New York, New Jersey area were locked down, so there was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do but work. So that kind of forced me to master this. I think by month 6, I think I mastered it. Started to, at least.
Month 6, about how much did you make? Do you remember?
Yeah, month 6, it was 25 grand in a month. And I did that a couple times my first 12 months in the business. So that's all advanced money. That's no back end. That's no overrides. So that was pretty cool. I was like, damn, this is fun. This is awesome.
So going through it, bro. I mean, you seen the 3-month span of, bro, this is rough. I might quit today. It's snowing outside. It's dark. I'm dark. I'm about to drive off this bridge because insurance is ruining everything. And then 3 months later, you cracked and you broke out. Having a new agent come in, maybe they're behind on their bills. Maybe they're covered in debt. Maybe they're about to get their car repoed. Maybe they're about to lose their apartment or something, right? They're coming in, and it's either this or working at Popeyes. Like, what are you telling that person as far from your experience in this business?
To me, I mean, based on my experience, I've seen those are the people that make it because they have no other option. They're desperate. They have to make this work to pay their bills. So they're going to be out there, and I'm going to help, obviously if it's an agent or if it's, I'm sure you do the same thing. You're going to front them leads, help them out, help them get off the ground. Because once you get off the ground, then this business starts to get a little easier, and then you can start investing more into your business. And the more you invest, the easier this business gets. It's just plain and simple. I've seen too many people try to cut corners with their lead costs, just shooting yourself in the foot.
Bro, no, you gotta tell the story. So you told me a story earlier. What was it, bro, about the new agent?
Yeah, so I had a guy, he's obviously not here anymore, I would get an email, so a manager copied on the emails. I would see him he would buy 3 leads in the middle of the day. And then 2 hours later, I'd get another email, another 3 leads. Like just trying to cut like inch by inch, just trying to, oh, maybe if I see 3 people, I'll sell one. I don't have to spend that much. It's like, just buy the whole stack in that zip code and work them. Once you see the return on your investment with this, it's, it pays dividends. My first year, 8 to 1, Jacob, on lead cost to return. So invested 20,000 in leads. When I ran the numbers, made over 160,000. So, it works. Just buy the leads. Don't cut corners, invest in leads, standing order leads, get on the standing order as soon as you possibly can. Because not only is it holds you accountable because you have to get out there and work, but you have fresh leads that are directly to you. So those are the top of the top leads. Those are the freshest. These people just filled the card out a couple of weeks ago, and you're the only one who got them. So nobody else worked them. Go out there and work them. And like for me, I have 20 leads a week, 15 to 20 leads. So it forces me to work. Keeps you accountable.
So what would you say to somebody who's like, man, I'm coming in, Mike, I'm about to just listen to you. I'm going to be a sponge. What's my lead investment? What am I doing? How am I doing it? How much am I spending? What strategy should I use? Yeah,
I'm saying, so I always tell people 500 a week is the bare minimum. And that's a lot. I mean, if you think about it, most people aren't even paying their mortgage payments, not $2,000 a month, or you're investing in more in leads than you are your rent or your mortgage, which is hard to it's hard to wrap your head around, but we're running a business here. We don't really have much overhead besides lead costs. So I would tell people bare minimum 500 a week to 750 a week. Some can even do 1,000 a week. I know a lot of guys a lot of the top producers are doing 1,000 a week in leads, because that's going to force you to work. And you're going to have enough quality people to see all week. Now we have the digitals, which are nice because you can kind of you can get more for about 1/3 of the cost. Up here in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, we only have memorials, so we don't really have much option. So $32, or now we have the digitals that are what, 13? They're $13.
$12.
$12.
Yeah. So
yeah, and then you get the digital sale digitals that are $5. So I would say, Jacob, 500 at least a week, no matter what kind of leads you're working. However many people that is gonna get you, but 500 to 700.
cool. Okay, so $500 to $700 a week on leads, and you're saying fresh leads, right? If you're new, fresh leads.
Yeah, we'll get you. Like, I had a guy start a couple months ago. He's on, Chris. We're gonna front you. We're gonna, first couple weeks, we'll help you out. But I was telling you, Jacob, attach something to the leads though. Don't just hand these out, and because then the agent's going to think like, every time he asks, he's going to get them, right? So attach something to him. Say, all right, let's go over the 10 steps, right? Do you know your 10 steps? Do you know your presentation? I need if I'm going to give you these leads, I need recordings, right? So that, holds them accountable still. At the same time, I'm not giving a guy leads if he's not prepared. Like if he doesn't know his presentation or his door approach, I'm not going to front him $500 in leads if I feel he's not ready. So attach something to it if you're gonna provide leads, but that's crucial. I mean, helping a new agent get off their feet is the lead cost is number one.
And then we spoke to something yesterday, bro, and I feel like it goes into every aspect of the business. We got there. I'm not gonna get into it, but you spoke about being over prepared, right? And I want to talk about schedule too, but right now I want to talk about being over prepared as far as your route. Maybe it's knowledge, maybe it's studying or whatever it is. How did that impact your business? And then how is it impacting people you're bringing in as far as making sure they're over prepared?
Yeah. So I mentioned him earlier, Chris Noto's on call. He just started, do you guys do rookie Royal Rumbles?
No, we don't.
You don't? Okay. So we do this contest every year, or every few months, I should say, where we pit as many rookies as we can, people that are new to insurance, less than 30 days in the business, in a contest, and they have a sell-off for 45 days. So I knew Chris, and every manager fronts money to put one of their agents in. So I told Chris, we're going to put you in this contest when you start. So make sure you're prepared. So he knew. I've never seen, Blair will tell you too, him and I have never seen an agent so prepared as far as knowing the transition, knowing the door approach, knowing the 10 steps. He seemed like he studied for it, like he was studying for like the bar or like the Series 7 exam or something. And it paid dividends. And you see, make sure, and that, I'm going to take that. I'm going to transfer what he did, and we're going to implement that now with guys that are coming in, because we got to be strict. If you're sending agents out there that are not prepared, they're going to fail. And we're going to start being more strict. And it's like, look, you're not ready. You're not saying it exactly how we're teaching it. You don't know the 10 steps. The door approach, we're going to role play it. If I feel that you're not comfortable enough with it, I'm not sending you out there, and I'm not going to give you any leads. So Chris, most prepared agent I've ever seen, he wins that contest, right? Comes out hot, makes 10 grand in his first month. And it's no surprise. I mean, he was the most prepared we've ever seen. So I think that's what it takes to start. And it's going to be a good baseline going forward for how we're onboarding new guys. Because in the past, I was a little too lenient, I think. So I think it's crucial. Those first 60 days of a new agent are so vital to whether they're staying here or not. So it's crucial.
Being more attentive to everything about like their studies, their schedule, and everything like that. Are you helping him with his schedule, or is he making his own? And then what's your schedule? What would be the best schedule for somebody who says, Mike, I'm coming in, I'm about to be a sponge to whatever you tell me. What's my schedule?
When you start, man, it's got to be at least, I say 40 hours of door knocking at minimum. 25 to 30 fresh faces to see every day. I demand 10 steps in every house, and you got to be on every conference call and maintain a positive mindset. Those 5 things for new agents, that's how you keep traction for a new agent. At least 40 hours a week in the field, minimum. 25 to 30 fresh faces to see every week. 10 steps in every house. You got to be on every conference call, and maintain. The 5th one's probably the hardest one. Maintain a positive mindset. I'm not going to invest my time and money into you if you're not going to do the same. If you're not hopping on the conference calls, if you're not going to invest in leads, why am I going to do it for you? Right. That's all I ask. It's not much to ask, be on every conference call, take notes, apply we don't do these conference calls just to hear ourselves talk, right? You got to apply the shit that we're teaching. I remember when I started, I was taking notes. I still take notes. I'm sure you do too. You can still, there's always more to learn. And when you're learning, you're hearing from other people, you're hearing from Craig Harvey, who's not involved as much anymore, but I would take what he's teaching on the calls. I would write it down. I would apply what I learned that morning in the field, and I would see it work. I'd be like, oh my God, like, of course it's going to work. So those are the 5 things, huge components to keep traction for a new agent.
And then, all right, so let me go ahead and do this. I know you have to jump off here in a minute, brother, but I appreciate you. Let me do this. All right, so I'm going to open it up for question and answer for anybody who has questions, guys. And if you're a leader in this business, whatever, I get it. If you're new, the only barometer of how important you take this business that we can guide on, the only level of, other than outside of work ethic, the only way we could see how serious your business is how inquisitive you are, right? Mike, how did I do this? You can be going to work. You just might not want to make more money. You just might be comfortable with 2 apps a week, 3 apps a week, or whatever the case is, or your leader might tell you it's okay to write 10,000 a month or whatever. But it's the level of inquisitiveness you have in the business. I say that because I want to open it up for question and answer. This is the way you put money on the table for your family. So if you have a question, I'll let y'all ask Mike. We got him on for the next 10 minutes.
I actually have a question for you, Mike. Mike, I've been in sales for over 20 years, bro. So But I still learn things from people that come into the game every day. I mean, you could pick up things for people that might work for you as well as them, just like
Right.
you can pick up from a veteran, rookie. You know, you might hear something they say, you're like, wow, man, I never thought of it that way. So I guess my question is to you, for the new people coming in the game. You know, you're going to have in sales, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have great months. You're going to have average months. You're going to have some months that wish you could have done more. When you
Right.
reach that wall, when you hit that wall and you're kind of banging on your steering wheel, kind of like you kind of touched it earlier when you were like, wow, you got the chargebacks, you got everything. What's the mindset? What do you reach in your bag to grab when you're at your lowest and you feel like you want to bail? Because I've preached this over and over and over, but like I said, I like learning new things from people every day. Where does your mindset go when you know you're right there, you're fourth in inches to push in that end zone?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say just find a why. We always say, why do you do what you do, right? Find what gets you up every day to motivate. I mean, motivation is going to come and go. I always say inspiration can be found from anything, books, movies, whatever, or even our conference calls. But you got to be self-motivated to do this, and you got to dig deep. You know, it's a mental battle, man. We're out there by ourselves every day. We have a great support system, but you're all alone. So you got to dig deep and find something that gets you going. Whether it's, if you have a kid, you have a mortgage, you just bought a house, whatever it is, you have a family that you need to support. For me, my why just keeps changing. I just keep moving the goalposts. So, I crushed my the goals that I started with 3, 4, 5 months in, and I just, okay, let's set the bar higher and higher and higher. But that's what I would say. Find your why, man.
I got a picture of my family in my little cubbyhole dash, man. When I'm having one of those moments, man, I just got to stare at it because I know I can't let them down. But that kind of what helps me. So that hit, what I do, that hit the nail on the head, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would just say you owe it to you don't owe it to yourself, but also the people you care about to get it done, and not slack off. That's why when people are, start getting complacent and everything, it's like, why? What have you haven't done anything. You haven't earned it yet. You haven't, what do you celebrate? So get out there and just get it done. You have a great month. Great. So what? Do it again. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. It's what you did best last. It's what have you done for me lately business, like they always say the NFL, that kind of way. Same thing. That's how I looked at it. Continue to look at it that way.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
I got you, brother.
Okay. Obviously, starting somebody off new, you want to buy them leads, get them off to a good start so they can get on their own feet. That being said, is there any financial advice or financial tools that you put in place for new people? Chris, for example, he just made 10 G's. Okay. In order for you to be able to have enough money every single week for the next month, this is what you need to do. This is how much money you need to put aside. And this is what you need to do from here on out every single week of every month. Like, is there any tools that you use or like percentages or something like that?
Yeah. So that's a good question too. So QuickBooks Self-Employed, I don't know if you guys use that app. That's been a lifesaver for me. So, we were running a business, so you should know how much money you make every week, right? It's all tracked, right? I also tell people to open a business account, or some kind of account that is only dedicated to the business. So you're not making money and spending it on whatever. And then it's like, oh, I don't have enough money for leads. Well, separate an account and have all the money that you need for your business go into that account. So that way you can continually reinvest in yourself. I've had too many guys struggle with that. They go out, they make money, and then they go out to bars and spend it, or, they go on a vacation or buy, something nice for themselves. And it's like, wait, I don't have any money for leads, or a chargeback hits, and, all of a sudden you don't have any money. So tell new agents, I would say immediately separate, open a new account and separate it so that all your money from that account is going towards your leads or anything that pertaining to your business. I think that's huge because most people that work here are not coming from owning a business. You know, I was a W-2 employee. I knew nothing about running my own business or investing in leads was a hard transition for me. It's like, wait, I have to spend money before I even go out and work. So I think that mindset is, you got to create that mindset shift where people need to have enough money to spend in leads every week, no matter what. It's like your rent. It's like your utilities, your rent, your car payment, whatever. And leads has to be every week. But QuickBooks Self-Employed is a great app for taxes too. I don't know if you guys have an accountant, but tracks everything. I export everything I do, all my mileage, all my transactions, export it into a report, send it to my accountant, find all the deductions. So that's huge too. You got to track your numbers. You're running a business here. You should know how much you're making and how much you're spending and what you're spending it on. So that's what I tell new guys.
And then as far as right now, what you're running, are you running strictly door knocks, or are you setting appointments like ahead of time, got certain days for that, or is it kind of mixed between both?
I'm mostly door knocking. I work my book of business a lot. That's a totally different conversation. But yeah, I'm door knocking. I don't set appointments. This is not some guys do, some guys have appointment setters, some guys use social media. I don't leverage any of that stuff. I just work the system. I work the leads that I'm given, go out and door knock. And I leverage my book of business and referrals as well a lot. So I'm confident that I could scrounge up 10,000 in a week from not even from new leads. I can find, somewhere along my book of business, or I could just call through my book of business and get referrals. But it starts with building that foundation. That first year, first 9 to 12 months are so crucial. And eliminating distractions, man, in the beginning. Eliminate distractions. Put your head down and figure this business out before you do anything else.
Absolutely. And then the leads that you're working, are they mail leads? Are they digital leads? Are you mixing those as well? Or
I work pretty much like 95% of the time platinum memorial leads.
I know you had mentioned the standing lead order. Okay.
Yeah, so I do 15 to 20 of those a week. I've dabbled in digitals a little bit. I should probably start working those in more. But the memorial leads are the only lead type that are available up here. We don't have checks or dentals. So I've just that's what I'm used to. And they happen to be the most expensive, but they say life insurance all over them. So I guess they're a little easier to work, but.
Yeah. And then, okay, so this is my last question. As far as somebody, I mean, hell, even a year in, but especially just starting out, once you get to that, just now you're 3 months in, 4, 5, 6 months in, how do you, because I've had an issue with this a lot, as far as not being overwhelmed with back office stuff, and what I just did is I separated everything. Like Mondays are my Americo days, Tuesdays are my Transamerica days, Wednesdays are my Mutual of Omaha days. So that's how I kind of have it separated, so where I don't get overwhelmed, because if I do, I will not go in the field.
Yep.
I'll be, doing this and this and this, and by the time you know it, it's 1:00, and I'm just like, what the hell with it. Right. So is there anything kind of that you have put in place to kind of help somebody not get overwhelmed and be able to kind of control everything, and as far as chargebacks and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say find a schedule that works for you. For me, I dedicate at least one day a week to admin stuff, all back end, where I'm out of the field. I'm not writing any new business. I'm working, I'm doing follow-ups with, some fall off, all back end work that needs to be taken care of. And a lot of times you got to take care of it in the field because these carriers aren't open until, 9:00, 10:00. So Mondays are typically my admin day. And then I'm doing 3 power days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically, or 10 to 12 hour door knocking. And then Friday, could be a long weekend. It could be, whatever it's dedicated to. That's typically what I do. But for newer guys, I think nose to the grindstone 5 days a week. That's what I did 5-6 days a week. Figure this business out before you start, rewarding yourself a little bit, and you can earn those days off. If you hit your goals, your weekly goals, 8 to 10K is my weekly goal. If I hit that early, okay, I'm done Friday. If I haven't, I'm out there Friday. If I need to go Saturday, I'm out there. So to answer your question, I don't know. It's tough. The admin stuff, newer agents can struggle. They get overwhelmed with it. And that's, as a manager, you gotta be on top of it for them, especially when they're starting out. I'll slack off when it comes to personal stuff, but when it comes to somebody else that I'm responsible for, I will never slack off, right? I'm going to make sure everything's taken care of, so that they can get their work done, right? And make sure they're on top of their outstanding requirements, all their emails, any work that needs to be done. If I can help out in any way, I will. So if you're, as a manager, you got to be on top of that as well. And just make sure that, they can figure out a schedule for themselves. But in the beginning, I tell guys, you didn't earn anything yet, right? You shouldn't be taking days off in the field for no reason, right? So I think it just comes down to feeling it out, whatever works for you. I can't speak to someone else's schedule, what's going on in their personal life, but as long as they hit their weekly goals or their monthly goals, it's all good.
Yeah, and